welcome back. Okay, we'll go back to Ibadan. We have Dr. Shino Fakunle, Senior Registered Department of Psychiatry, University College Hospital. Just before the break, you were trying to explain to us, how it is to move or to be happy in the midst of seemingly negative situation. A school of thought would say that you're only living in denial. Just talk us through it.
Thank you. Happiness, is a reflection of our mood, how we feel. If one is not happy, it means that the person's mood is down. And psychiatrists, we see cases of what you call depression and illness, whereby one's mood is down, and a lot of factors are responsible for these adverse factors in the society, like the economic situation, which is unfavorable, and the life events like loss of a loved one, people close to someone. So all these factors, there's a way they affect the chemicals in the brain. These chemicals are referred to as neurotransmitters. And these neurotransmitters, whenever they get low due to these adverse events, they result in what we call depression, which is in which one's mood has been affected. And when one is depressed, happiness is already lost. So it's important that all of these issues are addressed. In the treatment of depression, we have two main modalities. We have psychotherapy and use of drugs called antidepressants. What the psychotherapy has to do with, a form of counseling, helping the individual, talking with the individual, which even if one cannot see a psychiatrist, sometimes if the depression is mild, by associating with friends, with social groups, it helps to elevate one's mood and makes one to be happy. But there are certain cases of depression which are severe, in which the person might even have suicidal ideations. The person might just be thinking that, oh, all is not well, there's no hope, one is tired of life. I know the person is now thinking of committing suicide, like some of the cases which we've been hearing on the news, in recent times. In such cases, psychotherapy will not be sufficient. You have to use medications called antidepressants, which will correct these chemicals and neurotransmitters in the brain. And at the end of the day, over time, you then see an improvement in the mood, and then the person becomes happy. In some cases,
Lectured us all through this, doctor. But I also want you to say the effect of happiness to health. I mean, a lot of people think that being happy is an emotional thing, but you've just told us the psychological part of it. How, of what benefit is it to our health? What are the things that happen, being happy can actually do to one's health?
well, being happy, actually helps us, to associate with others, to interact with others, and of course, to have a good dietary habit. So, in the long run, it still helps our physical health in fact that we engage in activities which are good. Whereas if somebody is not happy, if somebody is depressed, for example, and suicidal, the person can actually harm his or her health. We've had cases in the hospital of people coming ingesting toxic substances. Of recent, there's this thing sniper, which is now commonly being used by people, to harm themselves because they are not happy. This damages various organs in the body. So some people might not even survive when they are brought to the emergency department. They might not even survive. They might not be alive. Those who are alive might have long-term complications, as a result of this, the fact that they are depressed, the fact that they are not happy. So, and of course, poor dietary habits. One who is not happy might not even have any interest in eating. The person might become malnourished. The person might develop anemia in the long term, and the person is at risk of developing infections because the immunity will not be properly built up. These are just there are various other health complications which can be associated if somebody is not happy.
Dr. Fakunle, will come back to you in a bit. Let's still talk about the social angle to all of this as we continue in Lagos for a bit. Adetoye, let's still talk about happiness. Some people would say that money brings about happiness. Others would say that money is the littlest of things you need to be happy. But can you really be happy when you don't really have most things you need in life?
Of course you can't.
How so?
The truth is, for everyone, there are things you need to run through life. And if those things are not there, it brings about a down moment. But in the course of all of this moment, you can choose. It's also about your choice. You can choose to either stay happy or sad.
That's what I don't get. How do you stay happy when things around you?
Now, part of the way to stay happy, like we were discussing when we went on that break, is that the first thing we need to know for life and for you to be happy is you need to have a purpose.
A purpose.
A purpose, what you're living for. If you understand what you're living for, regardless of what is going on around you, you can still find some sense of reason to stay happy.
So you mean happiness is a conscious effort?
Yes, it is a conscious effort.
Okay.
So you need to understand that, find a purpose for yourself, and see as much as possible how you can go about in achieving that purpose. It's just like somebody that has the capacity to do some certain things, and you're not doing it. That person will become unhappy. That person will become worthless. That person will become sad eventually. So the first thing is you need to find a purpose for yourself in order for you to stay happy. Another point I have here is you need to give yourself a high esteem and confidence. Like Mr. Justin was saying, that happiness, is it about self-denial? Are you going to deny what you're going through and say, I just want to stay happy? No. You can't deny what you're going through, but you have a choice to allow the situation or the circumstances you're going through to pull you down or pull you up. So every situation we'll go through would stretch us, would cause us to make a choice, either to remain there or move on. Just like this guy sang the song, Para Williams. I just want to be happy. I'm just happy. Happiness is in the room, What does it mean to you? Some people don't like to be happy.
They just choose not to be.
They just choose not to be, no matter what you are saying. And part of the reason is what they've been exposed to over time. If somebody is exposed to negativity constantly, it will affect that person. We see people that have all of these life needs, or the things we want, or the things we need. They have them, yet they are unhappy. And you are wondering, what is happening? Okay, I was discussing with some people in the course of this week that you see people that earn 6 digits every month, yet they tell you, our work is nothing. And you are collecting 20,000 naira every time you collect 20k, you are just bouncing.
It's even finished before you collect.
And then the guy is looking at you like, you are happy. You are envying that bros or envying that lady that she's earning a 6-digit salary, yet she's unhappy. Why? The work or the job she's doing, she is not deriving joy or happiness because there's no purpose. A purpose is not being fulfilled in it. So the person would definitely not be happy.
Yeah.
So regardless of the amount of things, you wonder people commit suicide and then you ask why. This person, you are making your research, this person has money. cars, fleet of cars, houses here and there, and then you're saying, what is happening?
Okay, so you're saying that possessions, properties, money, and whatnot you can think of is not the reason to be happy.
Of course.
It's not really enough reason. Okay,
It's
so
not, yes, really enough reason
to be happy.
to be
I
happy.
like you to channel this to the youth that uses the word "I want blue."
I want
Seriously,
hammer.
I want hammer. Exactly. You know, there's this notion more like it's becoming a mindset, a mentality where they feel. I mean, you hear a 20-year-old person say, "I don't suffer. I want to make it," and I just question, how many years have you
How
stayed
many
on
years?
earth for you to know what suffering is? You know, but that doesn't mean that the person shouldn't dream big.
Of course.
Now, how do you now begin to correct a mindset where people think is having that money, living in a massive, large house, is having fleets of cars, in fact, customized cars, having all the kind of goods you can acquire in this world. And that's just the mindset that to be happy, to be fulfilled on earth, and then to live that dream life is when I acquire all this. And regardless of what it's going to cost me, I just have to acquire this. How do you begin to make them understand that happiness, there's happiness in contentment, there's happiness in pursuing your dream without
dream, yeah.
hurting or doing anything bad. How do you begin to channel that into the mindset of youth? How do you begin to tell women who believe the man must have billions of naira? Now, I think it's dollars now they want, so billions of dollars before you can
Or
ask
pounds.
my hand in marriage. You know? So how do you begin? Because saying that, a lot of them, if this is not met, they remain unhappy and they're pushed to drugs, they're pushed to a whole lot. How do you begin to make them understand that that is not happiness? Because they say that experience is the best teacher. They'll tell you, let me have it first and be sure that I'm not happy before I know it. So how do you begin to channel their mindset that that is not happiness?
Well, I would like to start from the last sentence you just made. Experience is the best teacher. I personally come to discover that what that word means, it's not as if I heard it from somebody, as in the meaning in my own translation is that you don't need to experience everything before you can learn. Experience is the best teacher simply means that you have people.
You can
Every
learn from.
part you want to trend in life, some people have trod that road before. So what you need to do is listen to these people first or read their books. It's just like somebody that had 40 years, you've been into presentation for a while. If I want to go into presentation, all I need to do is either find a book of somebody that had an experience over 10, 40 years. If I take that book and devour it, I've acquired a 40 years experience in less than a month. The first thing our youth need to understand is, what am I living for? If you don't understand what you are living for, definitely you will run after others people's life. And in the long run, you would be unhappy. The word I want to blow, of course, is everywhere. Everywhere. Young people do not want to go through the process of acquiring whatever they want to acquire.
So even saying that when you acquire these things, you still need sustainability.
You need to sustain it. I tell people, you want to become famous, but do you understand what it takes to sustain the fame? And that's why you see somebody got signed up to a record label or to a movie company, and in less than how many years, the person is everywhere, but lacks the character to sustain the fame. So your talent can take you up, but your character will keep you there. So the thing that take you up will not be the thing that will sustain you.
Okay. Well, let's go to Ibadan again. Dr. Shino Fakunle is still standing by. He is a psychiatrist. Doctor, you know, we've been talking about the social angle, the human angle to all of this now. But still talking about a country like this, a lot of people say there's many reasons to make, you know, one to be sad in Nigeria, you know, with a lot of people getting depressed, a lot of people taking their own lives, you know. How to begin to move away from all of these issues of depression? You talk about taking antidepressants and taking drugs to, you know, to change the chemical composition in your brain. But can we still stay in Nigeria and be happy people, one? And secondly, can we still share this happiness all around us? Because the International Day for Happiness is saying happier together. You know, when people say that Nigeria is very challenging, Can we still be happy as a people in Nigeria, and can we still share this happiness?
Yes. Um, you know, when you're talking of one not being happy, that one too has its own levels of severity. There can just be a mild state of sadness, and there is a severe form of depression. Those are totally different things we are talking about. So if one just has that mild state of sadness, which might be because of the economic situations, the fact that the facilities around are not good, are not favorable, bad roads, electricity is not regular, then with that, if you have good social groups, you have social support systems, with that, one can still remain happy. If you live a life in which you relax, exercise, eat well, do the things you love doing, you can still remain happy in Nigeria. But however, if it has gotten to that point of having the severe depression, then what one has to do is people have to refer that individual to come and see the psychiatrist, so that we will be able to help the individual. So it's important that people are aware that depression is an illness, and it's quite common, and that when it is identified, they shouldn't stigmatize the individual and say, oh, it's a spiritual cause that is responsible for it, but rather they refer to the specialist who will be able to help the person get better, and then the person can go back to the society and remain happy. So even in Nigeria, we all can remain happy, especially if we are there for each other.
I know someone who's I really can't place what or how it went wrong, but this is someone who's let me use the word never failed in life. Been all through her academic session, had it smooth, graduated well, got married, and I think in between was unable to have children, and these had gone from it's going from worse to worst, if you know what I mean. And then went through a series of cases. I mean, went through some procedures, health procedures, saw a psychologist, and tried out all medications, and she stopped in between. And right now, it looks like she's at one particular state I really can't place. In a situation like that, for such patients, and to be absorbed in society, and for such patients to get out of that place, what would you suggest? I mean, talking happiness now, because we know that happiness is more like an engine that can help you achieve and acquire whatever it is you want to do in life, regardless of whatever predicament you find yourself. So in a situation like this, I decided to use that case as a case study because we have a lot of people who are in such shoes. What would you suggest for such patients, and helping that person get back to society, even with the knowledge that this issue is still there, the childlessness is still there, but yet you still can make life a better place for yourself? Well, what would you say to such a person?
Yes, you see, the factors which affect happiness actually even vary with the side of the world where you are in. In Nigeria and in this side of the world, you know, having a child, I mean, a woman having a child is actually a very important, thing. If a woman doesn't have a child, there is likely to be a lot of pressure from people, around. So that pressure on its own is likely to affect her happiness, and can actually cause her to be depressed. This is a much compared to in maybe some other parts of the world where people can choose that they don't couples can choose not to even have children. So for such a woman, well, the support system, a partner, how whether he's there for her, standing there for her, that one too matters. Is very important. But well, if I see such a lady, I will have, as a psychiatrist, we'll have to do a counseling. Of course, we'll have to refer her to for special treatments, because there's in vitro fertilization with advancement in technology. There are even ways in which one can get a child now, which you can try special reproductive techniques. We'll have to refer her to go for that. That will increase her chances of having children. But of course, there will still be some counseling going on along the way to help her, to reassure her. And of course, if we find out that this has even gone beyond just ordinary sadness and is severe, we might have to also add medications, to help her feel better.
Dr. Shino Fakunle, thanks for sharing your time and your input with us as we discuss sharing happiness. Dr. Fakunle is a senior registrar at the Department of Psychiatry at University College Hospital, Ibadan. Now, Toye, let's talk about ways, what exactly you can do or just get engaged in to be happy. Is it a conscious effort, or is it something you have to do or get involved in, or by showing acts of kindness? Just how do you make yourself happy and also make others happy?
Like I've said earlier, that you need to have a purpose for what you do. And part of the thing also is you need to build in yourself that esteem, a high esteem of confidence. Because it is what you have that you can transfer to others.
Mm-hmm.
Like the word or the theme of the World Happiness Day says, sharing happiness. So if I don't have it in me, I can't give it to others. Other thing you need to do is create a work-life balance and overcome burnout.
Okay.
Balance between your work and your life. And part of the things is in creating this balance is, one, you need to keep developing yourself constantly. In doing that, it would affect other areas of your life. You also need to bring back positive memories. If you're going through a sad time, bring back positive memories. At least there's nobody that has a worst life all through. There's nobody that have a worst life all through. Say, since the day you were born till the day you die, or till the point where you are. At least there has been moments where you have a good time. Bring back those positive memories and remind yourself that if I had this time back then, definitely that time can still come back. You also need to take break from social media, especially from bad news. I said that if somebody is constantly feeding himself with a negative news, or you're surrounded with negative people, it will rub off on you. You can't just look at people that stays around people that always get angry, paranoid people. You just find there's some certain area in Lagos, if you live there, if you grow up there, there's no how. Even when you don't want to do it, it is inside of you.
Sorry to butt in here. I like us to look at the role of mentors in this thing that you're saying. I mean, I hear a lot of people who say, so person is my mentor, and so they are focusing, they try to build their lives around that mentor. And so it looks like if they get to the stage, if for instance your mentor said at 25 I counted my first million, and you're just 16, your mentor is 30 at that moment, and you're 25, you've not counted your 1 million, it looks like. So I want to say, how would you say the role of mentorship, how does it affect one's happiness?
Now, mentors need to understand that for everyone, there are different blueprints for everybody. The fact that you are my mentor does not mean my life will definitely go the same way yours is going. So the first thing mentors need to do to help their followers or their mentee is get to understand the peculiarity of that personality. By then, you can guide. All you need to do is guide them. Stop trying to oppress them with your own achievement. What you achieve is yours. All you need to do is encourage them. Because if he or she did not do that, if you are just telling them, at the age of 30, I bought my first house in Banana Island. At the age of 25, I was already working with the biggest multinationals in the world. And you didn't tell these people what you do. Some mentors just lie. They lie. By the time you get to know what is behind all they've done, you see that some of them cheat in getting to that place. So be real as a mentor to your mentee. Let them know how these things are to be done. So with that, it will help them to understand that my mentor is not just telling me what he has achieved, but he's telling me how I can achieve mine with my own blueprint. Like my own mentor, we call him our senior coach, Benga Ademujimi used to say, stop running another man's race. If you're on a track, you're running 100 meters, and you just jump to another man's track, and then you face that man. When you get to the end of the tape, the umpire will just disqualify you and say, or the referee will say, Oga, this is not your track. So every man has a blueprint. So every mentor must understand the peculiarity of their mentee. And you cannot use the same method for two mentees. You have to understand their peculiarity and how to deal with them.
I'm going to come in here again. I'd like you to talk to our celebrities, because a whole lot of them they are heavy influencers.
Wow. Now, I said take a break from social media and bad news. These days, people are looking for approval of men first before they can get happy. You see people post things, and if they don't get likes of their friends, they feel sad. Wow. Maybe nobody is seeing me. As a celebrity, or as a popular figure, or as a known figure, public figure, you must understand that either consciously or subconsciously, somebody is learning from you. I said that what you have is what you give. If you're not prepared for the fame, when you get there, you will mislead many. You will mislead a lot.
Okay.
So, first thing they must understand is, okay, now I'm a public figure. How can I help the society with my status? Some don't care because they lack that growth from foundation. Their foundation is faulty.
Okay.
So they just come out garbage in, garbage out. It's just like a child that grew up in a home where the father or the mother always fight. I have a story of where the mother always called the father idiot, stupid. And then the day somebody brought a letter to give to the father, and they say, we're asking after Mr. So. The child was looking like, Mr. There's nobody bearing that name here. And the letter went. Letter of employment. So when they returned, the father and the mother, they had to ask, she now said, somebody came here and is asking after Mr. So. I told them there's nobody bearing that name here. And he was like, that's your father. He said, how will I know? Because in this house, all I hear every day is stupid, idiot, foolish. So they must understand that their life is influencing people. And they must try consciously to keep it up. Many of them lies. The kind of life they live, they are not real with it. So, and unknowingly or even knowingly to many of them that what we are doing, people are saying it. The stupid, I use the word stupid. Stupidity is a state of the mind. It's not, I'm not abusing anybody. So, being stupid, you are following them without you finding out what kind of life they are living. And at the end of the day, you are unable to sustain that kind of life. You ended up ruining your own joy, your own happiness, by following the kind of lifestyle some of these celebrities are living. Some of them are only trying to meet up to a standard they don't have.
Let's speaking on that, let's talk about maybe, how do I term it now? Temporal or transient or some sort of short-lived happiness. Some people, they feel they just need to get happy for a particular time so they can just forget about the sorrows, you know, and the issues they're going through with life at that particular time. So they tend to want to maybe make themselves happy by getting high, all sort of psychotropic substances, you know, and all of that. So how do you begin to address all of that? You know, some people feel that that is the only way they can get happiness. But would you call that true happiness?
It's not true happiness. Like the doctor said, the first thing is you want to be happy to go over a a particular situation. How we call that denial, like you said. You're trying to deny the fact that you are going through this situation by taking a substance, and the substance will just be for a particular period. It will only stimulate a particular chemical in your brain, a happiness chemical, and then you are happy for that period of time. But the first thing you need to do is think, if I take, okay, I'm going through, I need to pay my school fees. I don't have money. Okay, let's say I now go to take weed. Before I take the weed, if I can ask myself good questions that come, if I take this weed, by the time I'm high for 10 minutes, would that pay my school fees? If I can answer myself sincerely and say no, okay, so let me not take this weed. I think I need to find out how to get my school fees paid, either by outsourcing from family and friends or finding some jobs to do around. But many of these people are not ready to ask that sincere questions or listen to sincere advice from people who are real around them. So they tend to indulge in it. And by the time you start taking all of this substance, you get to a level, a particular substance will not be enough, or a particular measure, you start getting in. So each time you feel any sadness, I just need to take this, and then you are happy for that period of time. After that, what next? You come down again, and the reality dawn on you. This problem is still here. You still want to take more. So that's what brings about the issue of addiction. People get addicted into things and deep. So when you get to that point now, it won't just be an ordinary counsel, like the doctor said. That person needs to see a professional. Wow. So that's not true happiness. Taking substance to be happy for a particular period of time is not true happiness and will not help.
Sharing happiness, being happy together, just what can you really do? Let's say with maybe your meager resources, you don't really have so much, and you just want to see people around you happy, and you feel that you don't really have so much. How can you go about making people around you happy?
Yeah, the first or part of the things you need to do, you might not have the resources, as it were. Let's say you have people, so many people around you that need school fees to be paid, and you don't have so much money to do. One of the things I know is everybody has one information or the other to help the next man out of whatsoever situation he's going through. So I laugh when people say, I don't have anything. You might not have money to help me, I need money. But one word can trigger something in me and put my eyes in the right place and say, but boy, you sabi coordinate things. What if you get an opportunity to coordinate something for people and then you can make money from it? And the person will say, oh, that's true. And you have a link, or you heard of somebody that needs somebody to just organize something for them. And you just call me, Adetoye, where are you? Please, you need to go to so place and do this. But many of our youth or many of our young people these days are not ready to even give value, but they want to get money. So you need to just find a way to share information you have with people. Ask them questions. Some people get bored when you ask questions, critical questions to help them out of their situation. They just need a quick answer. You're going through something, you need money. Okay, one of my friend, I'll call him a friend on the street, posted somewhere, I need money. I'm looking for money. When I saw it on his status, I said, guy, you don't look for money. You create value and money come after you.
Okay.
I see.
Give value, you will get money. Nobody pay non-entity. But people pay for value. If you don't need me to sew a dress for you, will you just pay me? But you come and say, I want to make gown. And I say, okay, madam, this gown will just cost you 2 yards.
A funny one, someone was here to say that there's actually nothing that is easy to do to make money. There's no easy way to make money. Even if you want to rob, it's not easy to rob to make money. So it's always good to stay on the right track and to make money. All right, after all this being said, can you give a word or two of advice? Particularly, I'm more concerned about the youth though.
for the youth, my watchword is, for everything you want to achieve, try as much as possible to be ready and be patient enough to go through the right process in achieving it. I used to use this analogy way back in secondary school. I know when mathematics teacher gives you equation, they are not expecting you to just give me the answer. You might not get the answer in the end, but they want to look at your workings, how you went through the process. Am I correct? How you went through the process in achieving the answer. If at the end of the day you didn't get the answer, they were like, okay, maybe this guy, he tried, let's give him half mark.
True.
But you just did the equation and put answer. They say, Oga, come, how did you get to this point?
Oh, manage.
So somebody wants to drive a Rolls Royce. How are you going to get the Rolls Royce? If you work to get Rolls Royce, should be not Rolls Royce. But if I walk through those processes and I make it. So the first, all I have to say is understand and be ready to go through the right process in achieving anything you want to get in life.
All right, thank you.
So
we're
much.
looking at sharing happiness. Focus for International Day of Happiness 2019. Happier Together, and our guest in Lagos is a youth coach, Adetoye, Enikuemehin, and he has taken us through what we need to do and the habits of happy people, what they do, what they stand to gain out of it all. Well, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who have been part of the show.
Yes, and a very big thanks to Dr. Shina Fakunle, Senior Registrar, Department of Psychiatry, University College Hospital, Ibadan in Oyo State. Thank you so much. And I'm going to thank Justin ahead because he's promised me a very good lunch. Thank you so much, Justin.
Uche is just,
grateful.
Uche is just fishing. All right, thank you so much, and thanks to everyone behind the camera for making this show a success. We do appreciate it. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow is International Day for Down syndrome.